Have you ever wondered how one small city in Italy became so powerful that its influence still shapes our world today? I mean, think about it. The Roman Empire existed more than 2,000 years ago, yet we still use Roman roads as inspiration for highways. Roman law influenced modern legal systems, and even the calendar you use today has Roman fingerprints all over it. Pauses for thought. That's honestly incredible. Welcome back, my friends, to another episode of our English Learning Podcast, where history becomes storytelling, and storytelling helps you improve your English naturally. I'm your host, and today we're diving deep into one of the greatest stories in human history, the rise of the Roman Empire. Now, don't worry. This won't sound like a boring classroom lecture with difficult words and confusing dates. Nope. Today, I want you to see ancient Rome in your imagination. I want you to hear the marching soldiers, smell the smoke from crowded markets, and feel the ambition of leaders who wanted to conquer the world. And along the way, you'll also learn useful English expressions, phrasal verbs, and listening skills. So grab a cup of tea, relax, and let's travel back in time together. Music gently fades out. Okay, first question. Why should we even care about ancient Rome? I mean, Rome disappeared centuries ago. So why are people still obsessed with it? Well, because Rome changed the world. And I'm not exaggerating. You see, many things we consider modern actually started in Rome. For example, organized government, written laws, large road systems, professional armies, public baths, massive stadiums. Even the word Senate comes from Rome. Speaking enthusiastically. And here's something fascinating. The Romans were masters at thinking big. That's an important phrase. Idiom/phrase number 1. Think big. It means to have very ambitious plans. Rome didn't want to become just another city. Rome wanted to dominate the known world. And somehow, they actually pulled it off. But here's the crazy part. Rome did not begin as a mighty empire. Not at all. In the beginning, Rome was honestly just a small settlement near the Tiber River in Italy. Small houses, dirt roads, farmers, shepherds. Nothing special. If you had visited Rome in its early days, you probably would have said, "Really? This place becomes the Roman Empire." Laughs. It's kind of like seeing a tiny startup company and later discovering it becomes the biggest business on earth. That's why Rome's story matters so much. It teaches us that powerful civilizations are not born overnight. They grow step by step, victory by victory, decision by decision. And sometimes, failure helps them grow stronger. Actually, that reminds me of something personal. When I first started learning difficult historical topics in English, I used to get overwhelmed very quickly. My brain would basically shut down. Phrasal verb number 2. Shut down. It means to stop functioning emotionally or mentally. There were too many names, too many dates, too much information. But then I realized something important. History becomes much easier when you stop memorizing and start imagining. Instead of thinking about Rome as facts, imagine it as a movie. That changes everything. And trust me, today's story truly feels like a movie. All right, let's begin at the beginning. According to Roman legend, Rome was founded in 753 BC by two twin brothers, Romulus and Remus. Now this story is wild. Apparently, the twins were abandoned as babies and raised by a wolf. Yes, a wolf. Lowering voice dramatically. Imagine a dark forest, two crying babies beside a river, and a giant wolf approaching slowly. Sounds terrifying, right? But instead of attacking them, the wolf protects them. Later, the twins grow up and decide to build a city. But then they fight. Romulus kills Remus and becomes the first king of Rome. Pretty intense start, honestly. Now, historians don't believe every detail of this legend. But the story shows us something important about Roman culture. The Romans admired strength, courage, and power. And those values shaped Rome for centuries. Rome becomes a republic. After several kings ruled Rome, the Romans got tired of monarchy. They didn't want one man controlling everything. So around 509 BC, they created something revolutionary. A republic. That means citizens could elect leaders. Now, this wasn't democracy like modern countries today. Women, slaves, and many poor people had little power. But still, it was a huge step forward. Rome created institutions like the Senate, where powerful men debated laws and policies. And this system helped Rome become stable and organized. One reason Rome succeeded was because the Romans were extremely practical people. They always asked, what works? Not, what sounds nice? That mindset helped them stay ahead. Idiom number 3, stay ahead. It means to remain more successful or advanced than others. And Rome absolutely stayed ahead of neighboring societies. The Roman army, Rome's secret weapon. Host. Now let's talk about the real engine behind Rome's rise. The Roman army. Speaking with energy. These soldiers were disciplined, organized, and terrifying. Imagine thousands of soldiers marching together in perfect formation. Heavy armor shining in the sunlight. Red banners waving in the wind. The sound of metal boots hitting the ground. Boom, boom, boom. That sound alone probably scared enemies to death. But Rome's army wasn't just strong, it was smart. Roman soldiers built roads, bridges, and forts wherever they went. They could move faster than their enemies. And here's another key detail. Rome treated conquered people differently from many ancient empires. Instead of destroying everyone, Rome often allowed conquered people to become part of Roman society. This was genius. Idiom number 4, win people over. It means to make people support or like you. Rome knew how to win people over, sometimes through force, sometimes through opportunity. And slowly, city by city, Rome expanded across Italy, then beyond Italy, then beyond imagination. The Punic Wars, Rome versus Carthage. Okay, now we reach one of the greatest rivalries in ancient history. Rome versus Carthage. Carthage was a wealthy North African civilization located near modern-day Tunisia, and both powers wanted control of the Mediterranean Sea. That led to a series of brutal conflicts called the Punic Wars. Now here comes one of history's most legendary military leaders, Hannibal. This man was unbelievable. Hannibal shocked the Romans by marching an army, including elephants, across the Alps mountains. Yes, elephants crossing snowy mountains. Can you imagine seeing that? You're a Roman farmer. You wake up one morning. You walk outside. And suddenly, elephants. Laughs. Honestly, I would have run away immediately. Phrasal, verb number 5. Run away. It means to escape from danger. Hannibal defeated Rome several times. Rome was terrified, but Rome refused to give up. That's one thing you must understand about the Romans. They were incredibly stubborn. Even after disasters, they kept fighting. Eventually, Rome defeated Carthage completely. And after that victory, Rome became the dominant power in the Mediterranean world. This was the turning point. Rome was no longer just a republic surviving among enemies. Rome was becoming an empire. Julius Caesar changes everything. Now we arrive at one of the most famous names in history, Julius Caesar. Even if you know almost nothing about Rome, you've probably heard this name before. Caesar was brilliant, a military genius, a politician, a powerful speaker, and honestly, he was also very ambitious. Maybe too ambitious. Caesar conquered Gaul, which is modern-day France, and became wildly popular. His victories made him rich and powerful. But Rome had a problem. The Republic's political system was breaking apart. Powerful leaders were fighting each other constantly. Corruption was everywhere. And eventually, Caesar crossed a small river called the Rubicon with his army. That decision started a civil war. Today, we still use the phrase. Idiom number 6. Cross the Rubicon. It means making a decision you cannot reverse. Once Caesar crossed that river, there was no going back. He defeated his enemies and became dictator of Rome. But many senators feared him. They worried he wanted to become king. So in 44 BC, they assassinated him. Inside the Senate. Pauses. Imagine the tension in that room. Whispers. Fear. Betrayal. One moment Caesar was the most powerful man in Rome. The next moment gone. History can change in seconds. Augustus and the birth of the Roman Empire. After Caesar's death, Rome fell into chaos. More civil wars, more violence, more political struggles. Then a young man named Octavian rose to power. Later, he became known as Augustus. And this is where the Roman Empire truly begins. Augustus was clever. Very clever. He understood something important. People were tired of war. So instead of acting like a cruel dictator, Augustus presented himself as a protector of peace. He rebuilt Rome, strengthened the army, improved the economy. And under Augustus, Rome entered a long period of stability called the Pax Romana. That means Roman peace. Trade expanded. Cities grew. Art and architecture flourished. Rome became rich beyond imagination. Speaking slowly, picture enormous temples made of marble, busy streets filled with merchants, ships arriving from distant lands, crowds cheering in giant arenas. The empire stretched across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. At its height, around 60 to 70 million people lived under Roman rule. That was astonishing for the ancient world. Now here's the interesting question. What can we learn from Rome today? Because history isn't just about dead people and old buildings. History is about human behavior, and Rome teaches several powerful lessons. Rome succeeded because of discipline. Its soldiers trained hard. Its engineers built strong infrastructure. Its leaders planned carefully. Rome understood that success usually comes from consistency, not magic. Idiom number 7. Stick to something. It means to continue doing something consistently. Rome stuck to its systems for centuries. That consistency built an empire. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Rome wasn't destroyed only by outside enemies. Internal corruption weakened it too. Political greed, economic inequality, power struggles. Sometimes the biggest threat comes from inside. And honestly, this lesson still matters today for countries, businesses, even individuals. Rome constantly adapted. When enemies used new tactics, Rome learned quickly. When systems failed, Rome reorganized. Phrasal verb number 8. Figure out. It means to solve or understand something. Rome was excellent at figuring things out. And that's a skill every learner needs too, especially when learning English. You won't understand everything immediately. That's normal. But if you keep listening, reading, and practicing, your brain slowly adapts. All right, time for our listener question. Today's question is, why did the Roman Empire become so powerful compared to other civilizations? Excellent question. The answer is actually a combination of factors. Rome had a disciplined army, strong leadership, smart engineering, good roads for communication, flexible politics, economic strength. But honestly, I think Rome's greatest strength was persistence. The Romans refused to quit. Even after military disasters, they rebuilt. Even after political chaos, they reorganized. That resilience made them dangerous competitors. And there's a useful English expression for this. Bonus idiom, bounce back. It means to recover after difficulty. Rome always found ways to bounce back. That's one reason the empire lasted so long. So today, we explored one of history's greatest transformations. A tiny settlement beside a river became the most powerful empire in the ancient world. We talked about Rome's legendary beginnings, the Republic, the mighty Roman army, Hannibal and the Punic Wars, Julius Caesar, Augustus and the birth of the empire. And most importantly, we explored the lessons Rome still teaches us today. Warm tone. And hey, if you're learning English right now, remember this. Language learning is a lot like the rise of Rome. Progress feels slow at first, sometimes frustrating, sometimes messy, but small improvements grow over time. One new word, one new podcast, one new conversation. That's how confidence is built. So here's your challenge for today. Try using one of today's idioms in your own sentence. Maybe, I need to stick to my English practice. Or, I bounce back after making mistakes. That's how fluency grows naturally. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend who loves history or wants to improve their English listening skills. Until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and keep moving forward. Soft music rises. Host. Bye everyone.